I mean, but you know, the Zelda formula's been followed for the rest, pretty much the rest of the games. Even the other handheld games. I mean, granted, they try to do something a little bit different, like somewhat mechanically, but like, I don't know. Although I will say, who's I listening to? You know what? I might put a link in the description at some point for this video. You guys should watch Matt Pat. Well, specifically his he's kind of doing a video on the game industry in general. But he was talking about, like, we complain for, and you know, we're all guilty of this, and this kind of goes into the whole Zelda formula thing. We complain that we want different, but when we get it, we don't buy into it. Like, you know, and you see it in scores. Like, you know, how many games do you see that are rated, like, super high? Like, oh, you know, this game really made me think, and, like, the story was fantastic. You know, and it's a new IP that, you know, no one's really seen before. No one really, you know, and developers decided to take a chance. But the sales for that are abysmal compared to like, you know, Call of Duty or Battlefield or Madden. Where it's like, we want different, but we want the same at the same time. Because Matt Pat brought up the what was it? Mario. And how, come on, how the Mario games have been, the ones that have sold the most are the ones that are the most similar to the original game, which is funny. Because it's like, yeah, we want different stuff, but and you know, companies see that, and they think that, well, the numbers are going to be the same. The numbers aren't going to be the same if we don't keep it the same. And, you know, while a game developer like Cliff Bleszinski or Ken Levine or Peter Molyneux or something like that, you know, while they're the ones who have the artistic vision. I'm talking about people who left and are doing their own things now. I mean, like, their own games, who left big industry. Like, you know, you get people like that who, but that's actually kind of a good example. Like, they want to make their own games and not be tied down to, like, EA or Activision or Ubisoft or something like that, you know? Rockstar. Actually, Rockstar's pretty set in what they do. Take-Two. You know, they're the ones who have the control, like the final say, really, when it comes down to it, and the ones who want to be like, well, guess what? We're gonna put a crap ton more money into advertising this minor Call of Duty expansion as opposed to your game that is new and inventive and is going to really make people think and feel the feels. be like, unless you're not blowing stuff up, we don't care. Which is, you know, it's kind of true. Like, but it's money, you know. Like, if it's not gonna make, why would they spend as much? Ow. Why would they spend as much money in advertising if it's not going to sell over 1 million copies? You know, if a game's gonna sell, like, really, the game's only gonna sell maybe like 500,000 copies or something like that, as opposed to like a guaranteed hit like Madden or Call of Duty or Halo or something like that, you know? Or just the next iteration of whatever game sells the most for that company. They're not going to worry about it because they know people aren't going to buy into it, which is our fault. Which is, like, kind of what Matt Pat was getting at in his video. But that means we need to change our thinking, you know? Like, I want to see something happen new with a game series that I love. But then again, I like to see new IP come out and kind of like really take off. But the problem with that is like you get something like Assassin's Creed. Good idea, great game. I heard it was supposed to be originally supposed to be another Prince of Persia, but they turned it into its own game. But now they're pumping a new one out every year, and it kind of takes away from the specialness of it, you know? Like, look, I could care less if they made the same game, you know, just give us some time. You know, like, they keep making a new Call of Duty every year. And yeah, granted, it's different developers, but it's like, do we need one every year? I mean, I can understand Madden because rosters and everything change, and they do make some advancements in the mechanics and stuff like that, but even still, like, you know, we gotten to the point, can't we just do an update? You know, pay like $10 for an expansion, and then maybe every 2 or 3 years make a new you know, pay an extra like however much to buy a new game. I don't know. So, yeah, I'll put a link in the description for that video, because or video series. I mean, if you're not following the Game Theorist, you should already, because you know they bring up some valid points, like real valid points, and like, you know, there are some things that just kind of make you wonder how long this business is going to be around for. Like, you know, just makes you think. And there's no problem with making people think. Okay. I am so glad I had the money on me.